Welcome to Tri-Valley Sports Final, your program for the best in local sports action. On this week's show, Navon Long helps lead the way as the Granada boys basketball team takes on the Doherty Valley Wildcats. Sid Swarup lights it up as the Foothill boys basketball team squares off against Deer Valley. And Riley Young is outstanding as the Foothill girls basketball team faces the Newark Memorial Cougars. All that plus Granada Doherty Valley girls basketball, Livermore Hayward boys basketball, and much more right here on Tri-Valley Sports Final. Welcome back to Tri-Valley Sports Final. I'm Ian Bartholomew. On this week's show, we will have boys basketball featuring both Granada and Livermore. We'll also have girls basketball featuring Granada, Foothill, and Dublin. And to get us started with the girls, it's my co-host, Tim Sprani.
Great. Thank you, Ian. And after an up-and-down start, the Granada girls basketball team is turning things around. The Matadors recently defeated Amador Valley 47-45 in a non-league nail-biter. Following that win, Granada looked to make it 2 in a row as they hosted the Doherty Valley Wildcats. And there we see the Matadors and Coach Chris Burko breaking the huddle. We pick up the action in the first quarter. Matadors pass. Catherine Vale, who drives and scores. Nice job by the sophomore there. Then we see Vale on the defensive end. She gets the steal, dribbles to midcourt, passes up to Scarlett Massengale, and Massengale drives and banks it in. So Granada off to a nice start in the early going. Here we see Jasmine Branda. She drives and misses, but Caitlin Brungell is there. Rebound, put back, and gets the three-point play after being fouled. Now we see Brungell after the inbounds. Massengale open on the weak side wing, and she hits the jumper there from the corner, and Granada up 9-0. Now we see Brungell again. Look at that defense. The block shot out of bounds. Likes that. Now we see Branda dribbling. And in traffic, look at that. Eventually penetrating, finding her spot in the zone and scoring. Nice job there by Branda. Now we see Branda. The give and go, Brungell. And there is Tatum Brown cutting down the middle. Layup, Granada on top 13-2. Now Brown from the corner. And ends up getting it to Massengale, who would drive and score. So Doherty Valley looking to get back in it with Rachel Mesquita with the drive down the baseline and scoring. But answering back is Brungell, who dribbles, then passes it out up top to Jasmine Branda, who gets it to drop. Shooter's touch there on the three-pointer. Now we see Branda to Brungell, back to Branda. Nice give and go, and Granada up 20-9 after the first quarter. So a big offensive quarter there. Chris Burko likes what he's seeing and drawing up plays as Granada gets set for the second quarter. And when you've got Jasmine Branda, Scarlett Massengale, the drive and the bucket, good teamwork there. This time we see Massengale from the baseline. She misses, but Brungell with the rebound and the putback. Next, we see Brungell inside off the pass from Kayla Carroll off the inbounds play. And then on the defensive end, it's Jasmine Branda getting the block shot. And we'll finish it off with this as the Mats pass it around the perimeter and Massengale knocks down the three-pointer. A very good night for the Matadors. And there you see the final score. Granada following the win. The Matadors defeated Amador Valley again, this time in an eVale matchup. So Granada's now won 3 in a row, stand at 2-1 in league, so playing much better.
Yeah, they really are. And some of the younger players, especially Massengale, is really starting to emerge as a scorer. Coming up with some big games, and the veterans like Branda, Brungell, they're stepping up too.
Well, there's no doubt, and they've been there before. And
Yeah.
I think when you have veteran leadership that's had success, and you have an excellent coaching staff, even with the slow start, you know, they're hitting their stride right when it matters, right here during league. And I think Granada is going to be a tough out as the season progresses.
And that will do it for the Granada girls. Up next, we'll feature the Granada boys as they face Doherty Valley in our Tri-Valley Sports Final game of the week. Plus, a little bit later, we'll see the Livermore boys as they take on the Hayward Farmers. Please stay with us. Tri-Valley Sports Final. For this week's Sports Final game of the week, we're featuring boys basketball and a rematch of last year's EBAL Tournament Championship as Granada takes on Doherty Valley. The Wildcats had won the last 3 meetings between the two schools. We go out to San Ramon, big crowd on hand. Granada head coach Quaran Johnson talking to his troops. Matt's leading in the third quarter. And take a look at this. Inbounds to Cortavius Taylor. He takes 2 dribbles and buries the 3. Tough shot. He finished with 15 points and 7 rebounds. At the end of 3, Granada leads 47-35. Taylor would play well on offense and defense. Here he reaches over and swats the shot away. He had 2 blocks. More good defense as Navon Long steals. He gives to Marco Wild. Wild drives and lays it in. Now, Lennon Lamba passes to Wild. Ahead to Damian Miles for 2. Miles is only a sophomore. Doherty tries to rally. Cole Roque to Adi Malali for 3. He finished with 17 points. That cuts the lead to 10. But the Matadors come right back as Long gets it to Wild. Wild pushes it up court. Back to Long for 2. And this time, Lamba forces the miss. Taylor gets it to Long. Long then feeds Wild. No good. Long follows. It rolls out. Wild keeps it alive to Long, who lays it in. Long finished with 16 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 steals. With the game decided, Coach Q takes the starters out of the game. The reserves come in, and they impress as well. Tito Parati ahead to Bryce Berry for the bucket. That seals it. The celebration begins. The Matadors go on the road to win a big one in San Ramon. Final score, Granada 60, Doherty Valley 44. Devon Long, Spencer Langowski, and Cortavius Taylor combined for 47 points as the Matadors pull away for the victory. Afterwards, both Long and Langowski said it was a big win for the team.
It's a very important game. It was real personal. We definitely wanted to win this game. Everybody on our team wanted this game back. We needed to beat Doherty Valley. I'm sorry, I gotta say that, because we lost in the EBAL championship last year. Big rematch. I feel like it was a huge game for us, a big win. Every game you need to win, because we're looking to win EBAL. We're looking to go back to the EBAL championship again. So every game is gonna be a big game for us, not just Doherty Valley. We take this personal with every single team, but this win really just meant a lot.
It's just important because last year we obviously lost them 3 times last year, so it's just like we came in really focused. This is the most focused I've ever seen us in practice and shoot around, so it was personal for this game, yeah, for sure. Ever since that loss against Sacred Heart, it just woke us up for sure, and we're not looking back since. The past couple of years, we've been we lost 4 games in league, so we had to work our way up in playoffs. So really focused on getting a high seed this year so we can take it back and relax in the playoffs and have a high seed. It's a different squad. Obviously, we had Drew last year, who was just an automatic 2 points every time. But this year, we're so fast. We can get out in transition. We got guards that can play, and we could beat you inside and outside. So yeah, that's basically how we play this year.
Granada has since gone on to win 2 more games, so they currently have a record of 17-1. Have some big games coming up at De La Salle and San Ramon Valley back-to-back. And they're trying to get that high seed in the EBAL tournament, which means possibly a bye or 2 and home court advantage.
Yeah, and I think they're well positioned to do that the way they're playing right now. I mean, you see, and it was alluded to in the clip, the depth, but also what they're able to do in transition. This team, in many respects, is even more explosive in transition than they were a year ago. Last year, and they do have the inside and outside game. Where last year they did rely a lot on the post play. So very dangerous team, Granada, and they may get that seed. They keep playing the way they're playing. From the Granada boys, we're going to go on to the Livermore Cowboys, hosting the Hayward Farmers in the semifinals of the Cowboys Holiday Tournament. And there we see the Cowboys breaking the huddle with Coach Petersdorf. And we pick up the action in the second quarter with C.T. Harper driving and scoring, only a sophomore. Nice job. Hayward did a lot of their points on this night from Quincy Lavender. There's 2 of his 21. And this time the inbounds and score was by Jordan Doss. Livermore, Harper to Joel Debo to Harper. Look at nice teamwork. Alessandro Martz finishing it off. So Cowboys doing a good job. Farmers also passing it around the perimeter and getting the 3-pointer on this play from Jaden Bonds. high-scoring affair at this point, 28-18, and there now we see TJ Moore with the three-pointer. So the Farmers doing a lot from the outside, getting the early lead. Cowboys, though, responding in transition. Dwayne Noel getting the bucket off the pass from C.T. Harper. So nice job there in transition. Now we see Harper dribbling it up court. He takes it himself on this play all the way to the cup, gets the layup. Hayward, explosive on the offensive end, though. And Jaden Bonds with the fadeaway jumper. So nice job there. Cowboys coming out of the half. They're down, but not out of it yet. But Hayward extending their lead early. This time it's TJ Moore, 17 points by him. And on the other end, though, after the block shot by Dwayne Noel, Alessandro Martz takes it up court. Joey Williams would end up finishing it on the putback. Martz again, Joel Andribo, Xavier Thorpe. So Livermore cuts the lead under 10, only trailing 40-31. Farmers call timeout. The Cowboys continue to close the deficit. We see Joel Andribo hitting the jumper. On this one, Dwayne Noel on the outside to Williams, inside to Xavier Thorpe, and the big man. 2 more points. Cowboys continuing the comeback. Hayward, though, continuing to do enough to keep the lead. This time to be Jaden Doss, finishing with 14, one of 3 players in double figures for the Farmers. Livermore, though, nice job defensively. C.T. Harper with the steal and the bucket. Harper again, this time drives. He kicks it out to Tanner Breeze, who knocks down the three-pointer. Livermore continuing to rally. This time it would be Elijah Stewart with the jumper. But Hayward would end up doing just enough to hold on. Jaden Bonds, a drive and a bucket late. He'd finish with 19, and that would help seal the deal for the Farmers. Quincy Lavender, Jaden Bonds lead a balanced scoring attack. Farmers win by 3. Hayward go on to win the tournament championship, defeating Washington of Fremont 80-70 in the finals. But still a really nice performance by Livermore as they nearly rallied for the win.
Yeah, and they've got some good young players like Harper and Martz really starting to play well to go along with the veterans. So this team is, they've been in a lot of games. They've been playing teams very close for the losses by 4 points or less. So they're right there.
They are right there, and I'd have to look at their Division II record, to see if they could qualify for NCS. I'm not sure, but if they are able to make NCS with a 500 or above Division II record, I think this is a team that could cause some damage in the playoffs.
And that's going to do it for Livermore. Up next, we'll have more basketball as we feature both the Foothill boys and Foothill girls. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Tri-Valley Sports Final. A chance to advance to the finals of the Tim Cole Memorial Basketball Tournament was on the line recently as the Foothill Falcons took on Deer Valley. The Falcons advanced to the tournament semis by defeating San Lorenzo in the first round, 70-40. We go out to Fremont. Foothill coach Tommy Seck and the Falcons up by double figures in the second half. Pick it up in the third. Vedant Mehta to Nathan Bodensteiner, who scores. Moments later, Bodensteiner does it on the defensive end with the block. Eric Olson then outlets to Sid Swarup. Swarup penetrates and lays it off the glass. Foothill leads 40-24. Now, Falcons show good ball movement. Olson to Bodensteiner to Swarup for the corner 3. This time, Gershon Saul gives to Olson. Over to Mehta, who feeds Swarup for another long triple. Swarup would have a big game. Foothill continues to light it up. Mehta, cross court to Saul. His three's off the mark, but Bodensteiner pulls it down and muscles it in. More great outside shooting by the Falcons. Swarup to Olson. Back to Swarup. One dribble. And the swish. That extends the lead to 20. Now, Bodensteiner knocks it loose, gets it back to Olson, who scores 2 of his 5 points. Falcons would have lots of contributors. Sahas Krishnamsetti to Jack Fowler for 3. Foothill leads 56-31. Aiden Magaro now draws the double team. Passes to a wide open Nate Debbie for 2. Those two team up moments later as Debbie goes to Magaro, who scores and draws the foul. 3-point play. At the end of 3, Falcons lead 63-39. Fourth quarter, Foothill breaks the huddle, looking to finish up strong. And they do just that. Bodensteiner head to Swarup. His layup's no good, but Saul is there for the follow. This time, Olsen dribbles, fires to a cutting Swarup, who lays it in. He led all scorers with 24 points, including 5 3-pointers. Olsen now pushes it up court. He gives to Swarup, over to Saul for the rainbow 3. He had 4 3-pointers in the game. And we close with Olsen passing to Saul, who fakes the defender, spins, then puts it in. He finished with 18 points as Foothill rolls past Deer Valley 74-44. Gerson, Saul, and Sid Swarup combined for 42 points as the Falcons post their second straight 30-point victory. Foothill would go on to win the tournament championship, defeating Mount Eden 44-35. Swarup would be named tournament MVP, while Saul and Bodensteiner would be all tournaments. So great job by them, and having a really nice year under first-year coach Sick.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. And the Falcons, I mean, again, we talk about balanced teams. We see that balance, you know, with the Falcons as well, with the inside-outside game, some nice shooting, a very nice preseason. Obviously, E-ball is going to be tough for Foothill, but still playing very competitive thus far. From the Foothill boys, we're going to go on to the Foothill girls. The Falcons taking part in the Newark Memorial Cougars Classic, facing the host team, Newark Memorial. And there we see the squad breaking the huddle. They are ready to go, and in the early going, we see Riley Young. A nice long pass to Sophie Nguyen, who gets the layup in transition. This time we see Nguyen again in transition. She passes it to Young, who finishes with the layup. So good teamwork there between Young and Nguyen. Foothill, three-pointer, no good. But there we see Young with the rebound and the putback. Riley Young, the 1,000-point player for Foothill. And now we see her on the defensive end blocking the shot. So getting it done on defense as well. And here we see Riley Young again, this time following up on the missed shot inside. Now we see Betty Terpstra. Nice pass there to Layla Shore. And we'll see Terpstra again, this time on the defensive end. The veteran with the steal, driving in for the layup. This one's still close early. It's 12-12. But Foothill would soon take control. And one of the big reasons why is Betty Terpstra. This time she hits the short jumper. Now we see Nguyen, look at that. Nice move there, inside, great pass to Riley Young. And that works so well, let's try that again. There's Nguyen, and there's Young. Nice job there, the combo combined. And this time we see Terpstra getting it up to Nguyen, no good, but you guessed it, there's Riley Young with the follow. And this time we see Peyton Silversmith in transition, getting it to Young, who hits the short banker. And also in transition off the steal, Sophie Nguyen with the drive and the layup. And this time we see Shore, Nguyen to Young, who cuts in the paint, gets 2 more of her 25 points, and now Foothill on a 15-0 run, up 27-12 after the first, and it just keeps piling on as Terpstra hits a deep 3. This time Sophie Nguyen hits her own deep 3. So the Falcons continue to extend the lead, and there's Sophie Nguyen. She did it from one side, now she did it from the other side. 3-pointer. And after a steal, now Nguyen would get the layup and the foul. She would finish with 14 points. And this time we see Megan Yim getting it done from long range, knocking down the 3-pointer. And then from close range there we see Betty Terpstra driving in for the layup. She would finish with 19. And Foothill would finish with a big win. You see it there. Riley Young, Betty Terpstra combined for 44 points, and the Falcons win. They would go on to finish third in the tournament, but a great job by the Falcons in the early going.
Yeah, their only loss was to Arroyo Grande, one of the powers of the San Luis Obispo area. So a good team that they lost to. But yeah, really great performance. I believe they had a 30-0 run in the first half. So you don't see that very often, led by Young with 20 in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, Young was amazing, and they were smart. Hey, you feed someone who's hot, and they kept feeding her the ball, and then Terpstra got hot later, and you see all the different things Duane does. I mean, just such a loaded team.
Yeah.
And we'll be back with more, including our Tri-Valley Sports Final Athlete of the Week, right after these messages, so please stay with us.
Our Tri-Valley Sports Final Athlete of the Week is Granada basketball player Navon Long. A key figure on last year's NorCal Division I championship team, Navon is off to a great start on this year's squad. He ranks among the area's leaders in points, averaging over 15 a game. Among his top performances, 23 points against Skyline, 15 against Menlo Atherton, and 16 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 steals against Doherty Valley. Navon was also named MVP of the Edison Tournament in Stockton for his excellence on the court. Granada's Navon Long is our Tri-Valley Sports Final Athlete of the Week. Congratulations to him, and on next week's show, we'll have more basketball. We'll see the Dublin boys take on Foothill, both boys and girls in basketball, and we'll also see the Amador boys have a big game against San Ramon Valley, and Dublin has a big showdown against De La Salle, so some exciting action coming up.
They're all big showdowns in the East Bay athletically. It
They're
feels
all important.
like every game is like, oh, that's important, that's important. But when you do the single round, they all have magnified importance, and they're all good games.
You want to have home games if you can.
Especially in the tournament.
Yep, and that's going to do it for this edition of Tri-Valley Sports Final. Tim Sprani, me and Bartholomew, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.